But what I mean about action faking is that a lot of people might focus on work that's not necessarily moving the needle, and that work could be, you know, spending a whole day just designing your business card, or, you know, spending a whole day just doing something that could have been done in under 5 minutes. That's called action faking.
That's like, I can design a business card in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If you already have your emblems, copy, cut, and paste. Like, why are you making this a whole person? Well, if I put it here, will my marketing be better? As long as you have a freaking card, that's the best starting point. Yeah, action taking is action faking.
All right, welcome back. So, action faking versus action taking. There's this very confusing to a lot of like new entrepreneurs, but focus on what actually moves the needle in your business, okay? Focus on what actually is gonna get you your first client, okay? Don't focus too much on, oh, I need this perfect equipment, and all of a sudden you spend 2 days looking for that equipment. That's action faking. Well, let's say if you guys are ready to start and know everything you guys need, action faking could be reading books too. Because all entrepreneurs, put it this way, no matter if you guys, like, I love books, I read over 100 books. Books is what gets you started, okay? You guys need books to get started, okay? But once you guys are ready and you guys have that mindset to take action and you guys continue reading books, that's in a way of action faking. It's like, instead of you trying to focus on getting your first sale, your first client, your first, you know, prospect, you guys just reading books, reading books, reading books. Like, yes, reading books is amazing, but it's one of the biggest, not biggest, but it's an action fake. If you're ready, take action. Don't just read 2,000 books before you start your business, okay? The thing about books, once you guys have the basic mindset of an entrepreneur, once you guys read, like, I'll say 20 books, but good books, and you guys have that mindset ready, then you guys start taking action. And whenever you come across a problem in your business, then you can read a book certain on that topic. For example, if you guys want to start, you know, let's say if you guys want to start a business, I mean, let's say you already started a business and now you need marketing to grow your business. Now you're gonna read a marketing book such as, you know, The Expert Secrets, you know, Contagious, Made to Stick. Those are some good marketing books. And then whenever you guys come across a problem in the business, then read a book for that problem. Let's say if you guys are having, let's say, emotional problems, read a emotional intelligence book. And let's say if you guys are becoming lazy, read a productivity book. Let's say if you guys are starting to wake up late, read The Miracle Morning. So whenever you guys come across a problem, read on that book. Let's say if you guys are having, you know, a law problem, let's say if someone's trying to sue you or something, read a law book. So whenever there's a problem, once you guys have the fundamentals, the basics of the like mindset, you read a book for whatever problem comes across. And yes, read book constantly. It's like oil. I see books as an oil change in your car. If you guys don't continue up reading books over time, it's like your body's a car, and if a car doesn't receive oil, all of a sudden your engine's gonna blow out, and you just keep going down after that. So it's read books every week. You don't have to be excessive, like one book a week, but always oil your body, as in keep consuming knowledge, but don't spend all day just fueling you up, like reading a book.
Yeah. And I would say, like, one thing you touched on that's like really prime that people misunderstand a lot is, like, you have in school, you have your IQ, your GPA, your all this other stuff that, like, when you get into the entrepreneurial realm, like, you need to learn to think, but it's not based upon, like, IQ is good to have, obviously, but EQ is what actually moves the needle. Because how you handle yourself under stress and pressure is the result you yield. Because if you snap and you cry and you kick your hands and you punch a wall,
don't feel sorry for yourself.
I'm like, you need to, like, your EQ is what really, like, strong, successful entrepreneurs have the most developed EQs out of everybody. And EQ is just emotional intelligence. And there's so many books on it, and, like, a lot of people complain about having all these personal problems and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously I have sympathy and empathy towards these people because I'm like, you know, I feel bad that they feel like they're not capable. But the obvious solution is this cool place called Indigo, where you can go to the freaking section and get a book that could literally help invest into your mindset, so that you can understand maybe why do these problems reoccur, why are these situations and like all of this compiling on top of you that is holding you down. How do you break free of that? The wisdom and the knowledge has been compressed into books over hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, and put on a shelf, and for $10 you aren't willing to invest yourself. Like, I'm willing to bet you'd yield 1,000% return on reading a $10 book, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I was listening to Expert Secrets the other day, and that book will increase my conversion rate in my website. And my website like sells anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 service or info product, and that one book will increase my conversion rate. And if you're like when you're selling $1,000 to $3,000 services on your website, and you increase, let's say if you're getting 10,000 visitors a month, okay, with a conversion rate of 1%. Let's say if you're selling $1,000 products, all of a sudden you're selling 10,000 a month, okay? And then let's say you tweak something on your website that you learned from a book, a marketing book or a psychology book, and now you're getting 2% conversion rate. You're making double the money now. So that's the power of books. It's sometimes you might read a book and might say, oh, did I learn anything? But always think of the little butterfly effect, that little effect that the book had on you. Or if you guys read a book, you guys can just learn one thing, and that could be worth it. And yeah.
Next question, I got a good one for this one.
Oh.
How do you deal with negative people? For one thing I'll touch on is the law of attraction, like even down to base level science, positive attracts negative. I always say for every one person that you meet that's positive and actually believes in you and believes you have the potential, then and knows that properly educated you could succeed at any level you want to. The thing is you're gonna attract at least 4 people negatively, that are gonna be super negative towards you. And number one thing, don't let them, I've become really self-aware over time. So when something's weighing on me, I know how to unload and get de-stress, because I figured out how to remove the negativity from my life. And I'm I live life like a computer. Every night your brain is pretty much a supercomputer, reboot it. So get all that crap that's stored on your random access memory, go turn your computer off, reboot it, and clear the entire random access memory so all that negativity's gone. Focus on what's adding value to you. Don't, negativity's just, it's everywhere.
But yeah, negativity, think of negativity as waves, okay? And think of yourself as the lighthouse. Okay, when negativity comes, don't let it penetrate you. And if negativity does come, think every time you go to sleep and you wake up, you're like a reset. And a quote was said, a new life, what is it called? Every day is a new life to a wise man. So no matter how much BS you dealt with it yesterday, that should not affect you the next day. What do you think of that?
100%. Every day is a new day. Approach it with it's a new day mindset. Don't drag on yesterday's crap, because if you keep dragging on what happened the day before and just keep and do it for months of it, your results would drastically be a reflection of the way you think about what's going on around you. Mm-hmm. And it's it comes down to association too. If you're putting yourself in those situations where they're going to talk negatively to you, expect a drastic hit in results. Unless you can only be a powerhouse mindset for a very brief amount of time before at some point negativity starts to seep in a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It can. No matter how much self-reflection you do, how sharp you are, if you put yourself in the environment of receiving negativity, there's only so much we can take before you crash. So don't put yourself in that negative situation in the first place.
Like, I'm kind of like, the one thing that I've learned over the past month was if you used to at all try to come at me or anything like that, like, I don't waste my time anymore arguing with people, because arguments are a very base level of like just someone who's very bored and is trying to always be right, to like be able to accept themselves as like the smartest one in the room because they're $20,000 education.
Oh,
so,
everyone, I got this hey everyone, I'm a psychology major, I'm better than everyone else.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, I've had people try to you know, put me down and stuff like that. And my old self a month ago, my struggle was, I don't care who you are, if you try to put me down, I'll eat your lunch, your dinner, and your dessert.
Before you go, question for you, are you coachable?
Yes.
Can you take criticism without getting defensive?
And that's one thing I had to learn. And I'm open to admit that.
Because sometimes criticism could just be messages of improvement. Yeah. You know, let's say if you run a company and you get bad reviews, in a way you guys need to, like, yes, there's gotta be negativity, but let's say if you guys see something consistent, that's like consistent like conflict, that just means like you guys can't see all like criticism as negative. Sometimes criticism could be something for improvement that you might not see from your point of view. And that, you know, like for example, like there's always gotta be things you learn, and sometimes people see that you don't see in a way, you know? There's gotta be criticisms, but like, you know, if it's like something consistent in a way, let's say if I have a product and someone keeps complaining, like people keep complaining about one defect, that just means that my product has a defect, you know? I'm not gonna get defensive and be like, F you, if you don't like my product, then go find someone else, you know? Like, sometimes criticism could be good in a way, yeah. But
and sometimes if it's
sometimes it could be negative.
People like driving it towards someone's ego, and when you drive it towards someone's ego, expect to get punched back.
Yeah, but like be coachable at the same, like, you know?
Like, the way I kind of approach those situations now is the generation, my generation, in the nicest of ways, are very emotionally not developed. So they're kind of like, they're like a lie detector test. The needle is always up and down. You can't figure out what the heck's going on unless you're trained on really understand. So unless, I guess, you're a psychologist. I read so many psychology books. Yeah. But it's like, unless you understand, like, people are always up and down. So like, when they come at you and they attack you, they might be having a bad day, so they're just trying to be that bully to get rid of it. My approach now, you might be the punching bag, but my approach now is I compliment them, leave them the way they are, so that in 20 years, you know, if they're stuck in a dead-end job, and you know, they can watch me on social media and see how I'm doing. Like, and I don't let that stuff bug me, but it's just my view on negative people are gonna be everywhere. It happens.
And the thing about this too,
it's a test of character is what it is.
Yeah, like there's gotta be negative stuff, and you guys gotta be like Superman. Like, don't let that touch you, and don't put yourself in that situation either. But a lot of times when you expose yourself, like your business, let's say your business comes across 1 million people every month, there's gonna be 1% or bigger percentage of people be negative. But always be coachable, and always be open-minded about what criticism you might be getting, because all the times that you might just need some self-reflection in a way.
There's like, for me, every night before I go to bed, this can be a little hint for you guys, there's distinctive ways that we go out of our way to learn, from podcasts to books. I have habits every day to invest into myself, but you have to be willing to learn through life situations and circumstances you're put in. And every single day, I put myself in situations to learn that are not from items that I go out of my way to pick up to learn from. So like, pick up a podcast, pick up a book. I go out of my way to meet people and learn through doing work. as an entrepreneur. And then from there, at the end of the night, I unwind by recapping 7 things I've learned through doing the process of being an entrepreneur, so that I know that my brain's constantly growing. If I can't hit 7, I know I'm not pushing myself hard enough. And that's kind of my way of learning and developing, I would say. And that's how negativity just doesn't, I use that negativity in a way that I can learn from it, but at the same time, it's more learn from how to handle those situations towards yourself and towards handling in situations with others and how you talk to them. Just the character thing.
Yeah, and think a lot of times when you guys deal with negativity, sometimes it could come straight out of jealousy, and sometimes just people are negative. But whenever you guys deal with something like negative, where use that as fuel. For example, when I went to college and I was talking to my classmates saying, yeah, I'm starting a cleaning company, whatever, and you know, they will criticize, right? Or I will mention that I'm an entrepreneur when they're, you know, working for their 9-to-5 job, different goals, you know, like people have different goals, but that statement, I use that as a why factor. Yeah. Want to go into the why factor? What's your why?
Yeah.
What made you do what you're doing now?
Mine was for the impact about, like, my family's financially successful. So for me, the number one thing was not so much as to make, like, obviously money is a factor that allows you. So for me, it was like my why was like obviously not so much based around the money. The money buys you time, time buys you moments, moments buy you memories, and memories buy you happiness. That's what I always correlated it down to, but it was, broke it down to, but the number one thing for me was how many lives can I impact, how much value can I add into the community along my lifespan, so that my name's not known so much as an entrepreneur, as an impact player. Because honestly, a lot of people will go into entrepreneurship in the simple need of just being greedy, and they'll make a lot of money, but the thing is they'll drain themselves along the way. They'll realize that a lot of their friends' relationships have been tarnished, and they just don't feel satisfied with where they've ended up as a result of the work they've done. Whereas in me, I wanted the result I have in life to be there because of the amount of people I actually helped and paid it forward to. That's why for me it was like everyone, I push people to do entrepreneurship, or to at least look into it or better themselves, because you don't realize how much your voice is actually worth until you're willing to speak up and use it, because your story, distinctly your story, is the way it is, and you've been placed in the situations you have to learn and grow, but at the same time to be that overcoming story that someone needs to hear so that they can actually step out of their crap and into the step out of their darkness in the light. And it was, for me, that was the reason why I kind of got into the roots that I went into. Sure, I could have stayed in Instagram and, you know, built a really successful company there, and, you know, made a lot more money, like quadrupled the amount of money I was making then, but the only sheer benefit of it was, yeah, people get to see fitness content, people get to see all this cool stuff coming out, but is it actually adding value to them, or is it just sheer pushing content? And so for me, that's why I kind of got out of the Instagram game. And if you look at my account now, as funny as it is with the name, we'll probably rebrand, it's all mindset stuff now. Mm-hmm. It's got nothing to do with, it's how I think on a daily basis, so people can see inside the madness of my mind, I guess. Like, I wish no one to end up in my head.
Oh, really?
Because there's a lot that goes on in there. There's a lot of cool ideas that stem deep down in my head that just kind of sit there for like ideas that could be good companies. And but again, like Rank said, comes down to focus, because I know my end goal is to create an impact, to be the impact player. So that was kind of the way that I went. That was my why.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do to make that impact?
So if any of you don't know, I speak on one of the largest North America leadership pretty much programs. So I speak within that program. I have a team that I work directly with to be able to help coach people and bring value to people and actually help them develop themselves to unlock their potential. Because I always say this, like, principles are like, you know, the secrets and you're the key. And it's understanding that you have to you have to have a base level understanding how to apply those principles to unlock yourself.
Perfect. Have you ever thought of creating like your own thing, like business coaching people in a way, or?
Right now I'm sticking with the platform we have just because of the sheer amount of reach it has. In the future, like through social media and stuff like that, you'll see me start a company based around just content for mindset. So like basically the stuff that I'm posting now, putting that on its own platform.
You should become Ty Lopez, bro.
Give him a run for his money.
Well,
that'll take a while, but yeah.
I know a lot of people hate Ty Lopez.
I don't hate him. I have a mad amount of respect for him.
Yeah, but
he's pushed through a lot of hate. He's had one of the most. By the way, if you guys don't know this, Ty Lopez's ad is taught in Harvard for the most successful psychology-based ad
it is
ever.
Selling the dream.
Yeah, and he's like from the books to the.
He's hitting those fucking emotional factors, bro.
100%. He knows what he's doing, and a lot of you guys will judge him and be quick to say, well, oh, well, Ty did this, Ty did that, you know, does Ty really own that? If you guys understand anything about companies, you understand renting properties is sometimes more effective tax deduction-wise than buying them. Leasing them. Exactly. There's ways to do things, but yeah, for me, I'll like break off into a platform where it's for content side of things as well as consulting corporations so that I can fly around the world and talk. On stage and stuff like that, because I already have doors that are openly accessible if I need to do that, just if I want to step forward a little bit earlier. The thing is though, I'm not spreading myself too thin, just focusing on what we got right now. And
not bad. All right, so why for me? Oh, this one can go deep. Well, it depends what kind of whys, because there's internal whys and there's like external whys. Yeah, you know, there's like why. I want to talk about the why that made me have this desire, and that why is like growing up poor. You know, for example, a sense of security that made my why. You know, let's say if you guys have a shitty job right now. Let's say if your boss is like screaming at your face, you hate your job, but you guys can quit because you guys have bills. That gave me a strong why, like not having to deal with anyone's BS. Or let's say let's say your boss doesn't like you anymore, he can just fire you and all of a sudden your back's against the wall, right? And that why of creating safety for myself, that made my why. And just doing more. Like for example, when I went to high school, I was like nobody, you know? And like that why, now I'm like, I see most people that from high school and they're like just, you know, working dead-end jobs, and you know, that just gives me a good why, just like, you know, just constantly pushing myself. And like, you know, no matter how poor you grew up or no matter what dump hole you guys came from, and you guys can come out of that and make millions, that's the strong why. Or like the strong why is like accomplishments. For example, whenever I complete a project and I become successful, that just feels like an orgasm. Like, but when you guys work so hard on something and it doesn't turn out good, or it doesn't do anything, like, that can be disappointing. But
your past doesn't define who you are. It's where you're coming from. It should be like, it should be something that you latch onto and you understand, and you should always strive to be better than the last person. So like in my family, last generation. But so basically it's like your past doesn't define who you are. It's the building blocks that you have to build on top of. However, you should always strive to be better than the last generation, but always understand that your decision starting today is where you're going.
What he's trying to say is make your grandpa proud. That's what he's saying. Make your family proud.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like for example, my family, everyone, you know, when I first started out, they saw me as a loser. But you know, now it's like, yeah, bitch, I'll hire you.
Like when I started, it was what you're specializing in. Can you go get a degree in it?
What?
So like public speaking, for example. No, when I got into public speaking, you learn how to public speak through doing public speaking. You do not go to school to learn how to public speak. Like I know
that's
that
entrepreneurship right there. You'll learn entrepreneurship. Do it, but you still need books to start out. Because if you're fucking weak-minded and
Don't
you give
expect
up, like, you know, there's over 7 billion people in the world that want passive income.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone wants passive income, but you guys gotta do things that most people are not doing, and that's called, you know, creating a system.
Like in life, we're full of expectations, but you can't expect to yield a result in something that you're not putting the work into. Because like when I start doing work, I have the expectation that I'm going to yield a result from it.
That's
so,
not always the case.
And I fight for it.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like this public speaking thing. Like there is a degree you can get for public speaking.
Yes, sir.
Where the course is literally done online until your last exam, where you stand up in front of 400 people. That is not how you learn how to public speak. You should constantly be put in the zone of discomfort up on stage in front of people. Yes, your leg's gonna shake. Yes, you're gonna get the hand sweats, the palm sweats, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you're gonna stutter. Yeah, you're gonna like, you know, sentences are gonna come out of your mouth that are a little bit goofy because you don't learn how to like think at the same time you're speaking as fast, and you're gonna say a lot of ums and ahs, understanding the fact that and ah is just filler words when you're trying to speak faster and you're processing information. But,
yeah, that's true. But well, one thing I learned from Tai Lopez is whenever you guys hire someone, or whenever you guys invite someone into your life, know their character type, because 95% of problems come from people.
Yep.
And if you guys bring like, you know, dramatic people, you know, problem people, then you will have problem in your life. That's why like my circle right now, it's like so small, but I just like, I won't go out. I'll literally just come to my office and work. But yeah, just more people like have amazing connections, but know that certain people are not good connections.
Yeah.
Know that.
100%.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one?
So if you could, I think we're pretty much done. So if you could give 2 principles that you would say have yielded you the most amount of success right now, which of those 2 principles would you say?
Principles. I mentioned the one principle was the micro equaling a micro event, meaning that little things add up to a big event. Okay.
So what you do in the micro yields the macro.
Mm-hmm. Another big, this is like business changing, is think of a business of a gumball machine. Okay, and there's gumball machines that have lots of reds. Okay, think of a red gum as something bad. Okay, like a lawsuit, something bad, you know, bankruptcy. And then there's the white balls, which equals nothing. Okay, that's neutral. And then there's the gold gumballs, which gives a great output, a great result. Okay, and there's certain business models. Every business model, it's a different gumball machine, and every gumball machine will have more of a certain ball. For example, let's say if you guys start a janitorial company, there's gonna be lots of reds, lots of whites. You know what I mean? That growth will be very limited. But let's say if you guys create a software company like, you know, like Wix or ClickFunnels, there's a lot of gold balls there. Meaning that whatever, not because you're in business doesn't mean it's gonna give you a great result. You know, it depends on what business model, and that comes to the 5 fundamentals, like sense. Those are the biggest life-changing. And the other thing is just like believing, visualizing. And visualizing does not mean, oh, I'm gonna think about this and the universe is gonna give it to me. No, it doesn't work that way. It's visualizing the end result of each task you do. Okay? And that's gonna, let's say if you guys are working on a project, visualizing would be, okay, what outcome will I get at the end of this project? Not visualizing, oh, I wish the universe, I'm gonna think of a Lamborghini 1,000 times, so I'm gonna get a Lamborghini from the universe. No, it doesn't work like that. It actually works when you actually put the work, move the needle, don't action fake, Okay, not because you're taking action doesn't mean it's actually moving the needle in your business. Okay, always focus on 80-20 rule in your business, which, you know, action faking comes to that. And always think of money as value, trading value. You know, don't be the typical person chasing the cat across the village. Be the one that puts out the tuna can, which is value. Think of value first, and then money comes after you provide value. Because most people think money as in like, oh, I need to put a gun in your head and manipulate you to get your money. It doesn't work like that. It works, if I provide something useful, if I solve a problem and I have that value, then, you know, the cat will come, which is you. But at the same time, know how to communicate the message properly, because you might have the best product on earth, but if you guys don't communicate that message to, you know, to your customers, they don't know that. And another thing too is trying out different distribution channels. Let's say if you guys create a product, don't just think, oh, if I'm gonna sell on Amazon and if that doesn't work, my product doesn't work. No, that's one distribution channel. Distribution channels could be, you know, differentiate where the money comes from. Yeah. But that does not mean working a bunch of different projects. No, working in one project, get it completed, make success out of it, and move to the next project. Because multitasking is one of my biggest productivity killers.
So like I would say the two principles I recommend to people are consistency. So make sure that you develop like a schedule and habits, so that you have something. The habits are more to kind of get you in the mindset and get you focused. And like get you growing every day and stuff like that. And for pretty much the scheduling keeps you accountable to something. And accountability is huge, especially when you don't have a boss looking over top of you. You need to make sure you're being productive with the time you have, and schedules will keep you accountable if you're actually making sure that you're completing everything on them. Don't treat them like a checklist. Treat your calendar like it's your paycheck.
No, treat it as it's a mission.
Yeah, treat it like it's a mission.
It's a mission. Yeah. Like, you know, like pretend you're the best soldier.
Like if you're an employee, like the best way starting off is like your schedule is your paycheck, but it's your mission of like what you're trying to complete by the end of the week too. Because obviously you have your, I always say daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly goals. So to get to that, you need to develop consistency and then persistence, because nothing in life that's worth it comes easy. It's always like you're like being an entrepreneur is like being on a war, like a battlefield. Like
you're a warrior.
You're a warrior, and you're literally, war is in the name. Like the war is actually part of you, so you have to be willing to be part of that fight and just keep going, because it's not fun. We all have our down days, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes I have my down days and stuff like that. I just learned how to be self-aware and how to isolate those days, deal with them, get rid of the crap, brush it off, go again. And that's like one thing people have to learn how to do. Like if you get shot, go get stitched up and go again. Don't sit there and cry and be like, oh my God, I got shot.
That's my biggest pet peeve.
I'm gonna put my thumb in it and then run around and pretend that I fixed it.
Yeah, don't feel sorry for yourself.
Persistence and consistency.
Yeah,
every millionaire I've ever met has said that.
Oh yeah, consistency, all that. But yeah, don't feel sorry about yourself. That's that's my biggest pet peeve, when people feel like the world owes them something. Like we all get it hard. Well, like some people get it easier than others. Like there's people that, like, for example, you know, like Jeff Bezos became like very wealthy within the first year of being in business, you know, where there's like certain people where they fail 5 years.
And I just recommend, like, you are the direct outcome of your habits daily. So like your mindset is a direct result of your habits. So make sure that you have strong habits, you have a strong routine in the morning. I would say I have this thing that I train everyone that I coach on, is called the Millionaire Morning. It's a very distinct way to wake up in the morning to make sure that your mindset's in the game before anyone else's is. Join the 5 a.m. club. I also recommend that.
I always try that, but like I always end up just not committed to that.
It's like for me, I have to be up at 5 because of like the way I set my schedule, because I know when I have to start my day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I have naps randomly planned sometimes so that like I can like reset through like midway through the day for like an hour and then get going again on a clear mindset. But it's just dependent, like everyone's a little bit different, so figure out your habits and routines that will you'll do the best results. But yeah, if you can, join the 5 a.m. club because negativity doesn't wake up that early.
That's true. Waking up in the morning is one of my most productive times sometimes.
Like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm up at 4:30, and that's like
really?
that's like until.
What if I come to your house and you're not up by 4:30? I'm just kidding.
I'm at the gym.
So how will you design your most productive day? And that will include what you do the day before and that morning. What will you do to make the most of that day?
So the day before to the day that I'm doing. So if you're ending off your day from the day before, the number one thing is, again, recap your day with the 7 steps that I always recommend to everyone. So 7 things you learned, recap that. Recap what you completed on your schedule that day. So take a look at your schedule, say, you know, I completed everything I had marked on here, or maybe I didn't complete this. How can I better handle this next time so that I actually achieve the productivity that I set out to complete for the day. My morning routine when I wake up, for me, health is wealth. So wake up early on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Those are distinct days where I wake up at like 4:30, go to the gym till very specific time. So like usually about 6:30 is when I'm at the gym. So about 5:15 to 6:30 is when I'm at the gym. I have to drive to get to the gym, obviously. While I'm driving, podcast in the car. You want to make sure that you're at least. So when I wake up, first thing I look at is goals, dream boards, anything visual so that it stays in your memory, because your eyes actually process like 20,000 images per second. So you literally stain on, like if you want to go watch a TV commercial. If you want to be brainwashed to buy McDonald's, watch like 100 McDonald's commercials.
It's a hook.
If you want to be brainwashed to be a millionaire, surround yourself with excellence every day. Like when you wake up, surround yourself with what you want to be, because you need to visualize it too, so you understand where you're going. So I always say like your morning routine's key, and then throughout the day I do the work that I need to in the morning. Then I go into a self-investment period for an hour, so I like a book, an audio, something. Then I go back into productivity time, maybe a nap in there for an hour, and then some more productivity, dinner, recap the day, sleep.
Not bad.
So
alright, so I'm gonna tell you guys I'm not saying I follow this schedule at the moment, but this is the ideal morning that I learned from the Miracle Morning. So before you guys go to bed that day, you guys gotta write down what you need to do the next day. So for example, like tonight, before I go to bed, I'll write down, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow? Okay, and every morning, you know, most people when they wake up early, they feel like, oh, I'm not excited to get out of bed, you know, I'm like, bed's comfy, you know? But when you guys were a kid, and it was Christmas Day, and you guys woke up, you guys were excited to wake up. Do you guys remember that? And why now, since you guys are an adult now, you guys hate waking up? You guys should change your mindset from, oh shit, I hate waking up early, versus when you were a kid on Christmas Day, you were excited to wake up early. So that's a big mindset shift. And that mindset shift comes in the way where the night before you guys set up schedule, like not schedule, things you guys gotta do the next day, okay? Make that your mission, okay? Let's say if you're a boxer, right? Your mission's to beat someone up tomorrow the next day in the ring, you know? But don't do that. But think of all the missions. For example, for me it would be, you know, make my 3-minute commercial, and then it would be finish up my website design, and another one would be integrate payments, another one would be, you know, make 200 phone calls, for example. Okay, write down all the things you guys gotta do for the next day. We're done. So what you guys need to do, write down your goals the night before, okay? And you guys can do positive affirmations, I call them. You can do that.
Affirmations are important.
Yeah, you can do that at night or in the morning. But positive affirmations, it's like you remind yourself that you're capable of doing that. You know, if someone else did that, you can do it as well. And that morning, you wake up early. This is, no matter if you guys don't follow everything step by step, but the biggest tip, if you guys kind of walk away, wake up early. That's like the biggest factor. Because when I wake up, let's say if I wake up at 11 a.m., it's like 2 p.m. and it feels like I just woke up and it's 2 p.m. But if you guys wake up at 5 a.m., by the time it's 1 p.m., it's gonna feel like 7 p.m. That time, it feels amazing to like be up the whole day and to check up on time, and it's like early. You know, that's
nice.
It feels amazing.
You're cognitively aware a lot earlier too, because like you're gonna be drowsy, and like the reason why I wake up so early on gym days is because I know that like I always wake up at least an hour before I have to do anything productive, because when you're waking up like an hour ahead of time, the number one thing for me is your brain is already starting to tick early on. So by the time an hour later, you know, you get your coffee and you do whatever, you eat your food, but you're like ready to go.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with that. But back to the ideal morning. So write down your goals the night before. Do some self-affirmations in the morning or the night. Be excited to wake up. When you guys go to sleep, be on the mindset of being excited to wake up. Be excited for every day. Okay? And when you guys wake up early. Okay? And one big tip, I did this in college. You know, when you wake up and it's dark, it doesn't feel good. Like, it feels like I want to go back to bed. The biggest tip I can give is have a soft ringtone on your phone when you wake up. Not like the typical default, you know,
Your alarm shouldn't alarm you awake.
Okay,
It should like I have a smartwatch that I wear. And the smartwatch vibrates on my wrist, and that's what wakes me up, and it slowly pulls me out of deep sleep into like light sleep, and then an alarm goes off.
Okay, good. Okay, me, it was always just an alarm just slapped in my face. Okay, have a good ringtone or soft wake up. And another big tip is have a smart light, because when you guys wake up and it's light out, unconsciously it's gonna make you feel wake up. It's like, oh, I'm getting ready for the day. But here in Canada, the sun doesn't come out till like later. So what I recommend is getting a smart light. Set it up so it slowly becomes brighter as you wake up in that time frame. So you don't have to like babysit it. Set it on schedule. That will just unconsciously make you wake up and feel good about yourself. Because if I wake up in the dark, it makes me feel lazy that day. It's all psychological factors.
Like I turn on my lamp when I wake up. So I have 2 alarms in my room. So there's the one that's on my wrist, the one that's on my bedside table, but then there's the one across the room. And that's to keep me accountable to actually getting up. Because a lot of times, sometimes you want to give in. But number one thing I do when I wake up is I flick the lamp on, so at least there's light in the room, because I don't have windows. So
jeez, what are you, a fucking caveman?
Yeah, I had my cave and hide from the negativity. So
yeah, make sure you have windows in the cave, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna do good. But yeah, back to the ideal morning. Wake up early, and then do a little self-affirmations, and then what I recommend, doing some kind of exercise in the morning, and that could include going to the gym. But the thing about you want to optimize your lifestyle for most productivity in a way. But exercising in the morning, it could just mean go for a 15-minute walk in the morning. That will wake you up. Or go for a run, or do a quick half-hour workout. And then while you guys are doing that exercise, listen to a book. Because a book, let's say if I'm reading, let's say one book, for example, I have so many. 0 to 1, that's one book I was reading by Peter Thiel. He's an investor on Facebook. He owns 7%. I don't know if he owns now 7%, but he owned 7% on Facebook at some point. Peter Thiel. And when I'm listening to him, he's like a billionaire. And it feels like he's coaching me one-on-one. And when a billionaire is coaching you one-on-one, like, you become very inspired by that. Read a book, educate yourself. Even if you guys read 2 pages a day in the morning, that will gain momentum for the day. So what we want to do in the morning, we want to optimize our morning to build momentum for the day. This is the biggest tip, momentum. Because like no matter what you're doing, once you start building momentum adds fuel to you. You know?
Like show your whiteboard marker.
Yeah. It's like the snowball effect. When you guys, for example, if you guys did nothing all day and then you go into your office, you're gonna feel lazy. But if you accomplish all these little things, you're gonna feel productive. Let's say you woke up, you went for a walk, exercise, you got your exercise out of the way, you listen to a good book for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you guys did some positive affirmations saying, I'm capable of doing, if anyone can do that, so I can. And doing your bed as well, that's another one. Every time you guys,
your bed's key.
Yeah, make your bed in the morning, because these little accomplishments you guys do in the morning will build psychological momentum. For example, let's say if I'm working all day and then I come home and I just keep working, that's like because my momentum's going. So imagine having that momentum set up for you every time you go to work. That momentum can be very powerful.
It's like the one thing I teach, it's called compounding victories. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, like the reason why I have everything set up the way I do, and this is a little bit on the inside of the way that my brain works, but when I wake up and my alarm goes off, I know that I'm gonna hit snooze, but I don't usually. So what I do is I flick the lamp on and I lay there for a second, let my eyes kind of process the light, and then that's like my first victory, is the flick of the lamp. Then I drink a glass of water because there's something called instant body rehydration.
It's true.
So that's your second victory. You sit up, third victory. Stand up, start moving. Fourth victory, read your affirmations. Fifth victory, look at your dream board. Sixth victory.
That's good.
By the time you step outside your door frame, I don't look at my phone. This is brain poison first thing in the morning. Do not pick this up.
Or at night.
Or at night. This should not be the way you end or begin your day. And it's like the number one thing for me is when you step outside the frame of your door, you should have so many victories racked up on like already, that if something negative happens, what are you going to focus on? The one loss or the 6 victories? Yeah. And that's the way that I always teach it. I'm like, if you're gonna get your day started right, start off winning.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I like the glass of water too and all that. If you guys wanna hijack your brain, take nootropics. Just kidding. But I don't take nootropics, but I heard people take
nootropics.
Nootropic, it's pretty much brain supplements.
Okay. If you want to help your brain, just do healthy fats, DHA, omegas. So your brain's 60% fat, so it uses 1/3 of your energy per day. So if you want to really help your brain, omega-3s, make sure, I have DHA gummies that I chew by Nutrilite, so I take those, and those have a high absorption rate on them, so I chew those sporadically throughout the day. But yeah, that's I constantly am consuming something that's full of healthy fats, so that my brain's constantly processing information effectively. It provides clarity to me, is what I've noticed. But
what builds clarity?
Taking healthy fats, if your brain's running optimally, it's clarity.
Yeah, I bought an omega-3 bottle.
You have caffeine pills too.
Yeah, so if you guys feeling lazy, tired, don't take pills. Drink a cup of coffee, and this L-theanine, which is found in green tea, which combined with caffeine, it makes you more energetic. But you don't need this crap when you guys exercise in the morning.
Yeah.
And another biggest tip of optimizing your lifestyle: be healthy.
Yeah.
Don't eat garbage. Don't be eating donuts every day. Because when I eat grease, it just makes me unconsciously feel bad about myself. And when you feel bad about yourself unconsciously, it can kind of take a punch on your productivity.
I ate a bag of chips the other day.
How did that feel?
And I felt like crap because I eat so healthy. Because you'll never meet a millionaire that doesn't take care of themselves. Because they understand that themselves personally bring so much value. Their health is wealth. So they eat healthy. They watch what they're intaking. They take vitamins. Because entrepreneurs outperform 90% of other people because of everything that they do to invest into themselves on a daily basis, from nutritional standpoints to investment of mindset with education and so it's just don't if you don't get to the point where you feel like crap after eating a bag of chips, you're not healthy enough yet. Like
and that's the biggest thing about all this. It's just building momentum. If you guys have an amazing morning, you built enough momentum to kill your day. And think about it this way: one day you can get 10 days worth of work done. Okay, that's like, for example, what I mentioned earlier. I could have finished my sales funnel within 1 weekend, but it took me over a month. Okay, for example, I know this guy who took 3 months to build his website, when you guys can build a website within 10 hours professionally. And that's optimizing your morning to kill the day. And when you kill the day, you can get 10 times more work done than if you're not prepared. But another thing too is distractions. Like, how many times like you're trying to work and something pops up and you're distracted? You know, that happens, you know, a lot of times.
If your ex-girlfriend calls you, hang up. That's
one of the biggest tips I would give everyone.
Yeah. It's like when you're starting on top of your game, distractions will come in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's close to you, not close to you. If it's someone
you just got a distraction right there.
Yeah, someone texted me. Shut the screen off.
Yeah.
But that's the number one thing. Is like your phone. When you're reading, here's a huge tip. Your phone should be in another room. It should not be in the same room that you're educating yourself in. Because trust me, for the love of God, flip your phone upside down. Save yourself the trouble of the screen turning on.
Turn on silence. That's better.
But yeah, just put it in a different room, because like they did a study shows that people who have their phone in the same room at the same time they're trying to educate themselves, they noticed that the productivity rate was less than 65%. Yeah.
Fancy stats.
Yeah. I'm like a walking dictionary, so.
Oh yeah. One biggest tip that college teaches you versus what do you call it, action takers do. Your brain, like, optimize it for action taking in a way. Like, take constant action, and action means like just do more, like accomplishments. Like, have accomplishments every day, because no matter how productive you're in that day, if you didn't accomplish anything, then what was the point of being productive?
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest tips. And the other tip, oh yeah, this is a very important one. Value your time. This is like, whenever you come across a wealthy person, they value their time. And whenever you come across a poor person, they don't value their time. And what I mean by that, stop wasting time on things you don't need to do. For example, the biggest time waste I see is people driving around. It's like, oh, I gotta pick up my girlfriend, I gotta drive there. Oh, I got hungry, now I'm gonna drive there. Oh, I gotta drop her off now. Oh, I forgot to get cat food, now I'm gonna get cat food. And then, oh, I'm going to my office. And then, oh, I'm going to the washroom. Oh, I'm hungry again. Oh, now I gotta go to the washroom again. You guys, the biggest mistake I see people make, and I see this make myself, is that people waste time on random BS that you can skip. For example, I can wake up, go downstairs and start working right away, right? But there's all times when I wake up, you know, I go to the washroom, go back to bed, like not back to bed, but like I'll sit there or do something, and all of a sudden I look at my phone and it's 1 p.m. Where did the 7 hours of work went, you know? So my biggest tip is get to work right away. Let's say if you have to be on your job site at 7 a.m., right? Like, no matter, you went out of your way to just start work at 7 a.m. Like, don't waste time on things you don't need to waste time on.
Jeff Bezos, his high volume meetings that require his most thought happen before 11 a.m. because your brain is processing the most amount of information during the day and running the cleanest during the day first thing in the morning. before you get, and it's funny because that's before you get exposed to like 90% of the crap you're gonna get exposed to in the day. All the crap tends to happen after 12 o'clock noon. Yeah, because that's when all the shit talkers wake up.
Yeah, but the thing about this, wake up early and focus on what actually matters. Don't spend time driving around on unnecessary things, or like don't drive 2 hours to pick something up just to save $10. I see so many people make this mistake where they value money so much but they won't value their time, and they complain, oh, I don't have time. No, you do have time, you just have a lack of priority. That's what you have, and that's something that people, but the thing is, entrepreneurship's not for everyone. But even if it's not for you, it should not stop you from creating an extra income for yourself or creating accomplishments for yourself.
Like, okay, so when that initial recession happened in Canada,
which one?
Was it 2009? The initial one, I think it was the initial recession that happened like 2009, across that time span when Harper was in office. Number one thing that you guys have to understand is, like, when that happens, minimum wage job employment went up 70%, and just to live in Kitchener-Waterloo, to be able to afford living at like the base level, would be $16.75 an hour is what you would have to make. If you, and see if that stat is true about 70%, you need an extra income stream. So you need to stand up. You need to figure out what the hell you're gonna do, because quit relying on other people to come pull you out of the crap that you're going through, and start pulling yourself out of the crap.
Yeah, it's like one day I was back when I was in high school. I went to this adult school, and I was outside. It was like downtown, and the homeless guy like came to me. He's like, "You got $1 for this, like, for a loser?" And now thinking back, I'm like, no, you're not a loser. You're a man full of potential. You're just limiting yourself in that belief. Imagine a horse with their little rope, and it's attached to nothing, but the horse doesn't move because the horse thinks, oh, I'm stuck here. No, you're not stuck here. You're able to move, but you know, the horse is waiting for a human to push him, but the horse doesn't know that he's able to push himself just by walking. And those are self-limiting beliefs. It's like, I can't do this, I can't do that, but everyone has the same potential. Like, look at Elon Musk. He has like $5 billion companies, and like he went to university and he was able to do that within like a 30-20 year span, right? If he can do it, why can't you? We're all humans.
Exactly. Like, a lot of the time, my entire life has been dedicated to seeing potential in people. I get judged a lot for it because people are like, you shouldn't see potential in people when they can't see potential in themselves. But so it takes someone to see potential in someone before that something extraordinary happens.
Yeah,
so
that's true. So sometimes people just need like a little pep talk. It's like, get your shit together.
They need someone to believe in them before they can believe in themselves sometimes, and that's the case, and you have to be that person to pep talk sometimes.
And the thing about this too is that a lot of people might feel like they're in a hole, okay? But you guys can have a mental shift very rapidly if you change your environment. Like, there were times when I felt like everything's hopeless. Oh, there's nothing here. Oh, like, you know, what's the point of, you know, doing this? But then you go to your neighbor and they're doing all these amazing things, and you're like, wow, like, look what I'm capable of doing. So like, what I'm saying is that you guys can go from feeling like you guys are in a hole to being, and start being someone else and become like a better version of yourself. Even if you're amazing right now, be a better, do everything possible to better yourself. Eat healthier, you know, exercise more, read more books, you know, work more, give more. And the biggest difference between someone that wants to be an entrepreneur and an aspiring entrepreneur is that people are willing to work for free. And like, let's say if you work for someone, right? You do the very minimal just to have the job. Like, if you do that, that's not, you know, that's not gonna be very good. Whatever you guys do a little more.
Yeah. I always say, like, if you're working for someone else and your dream is to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to go all out in every arena you play in. Because if you can't go all out in every arena that you play in, your sloppy work ethic runs over into the thing that you're actually trying to do.